Imagine you're on a field when an opposing team, twice your size, suddenly surrounds you. They aren't just playing the game, they are shouting and closing in, leaving you with no clear way out. This is an external crisis, a threat you can see and hear. But there is another kind of collapse that happens in silence. This occurs when the foundation of a structure begins to fracture from the inside out. It is often invisible until the moment the center can no longer hold. These are the ruins of ancient Jerusalem. Thousands of years ago, the kingdom of Judah faced both of these pressures in succession: a massive invading army at the gates, followed by a period of deep internal decay. While military history usually favors the largest army or the most experienced leader, Judah's survival followed a different pattern. They relied on actions that bypassed traditional defense strategies and age requirements. To understand how they navigated an unbeatable enemy and a crumbling culture, we have to look at the specific records left by two kings. The first threat was the Assyrian Empire. This stone relief shows their soldiers scaling siege ladders to breach city walls as an undefeated force. They used psychological tactics, shouting that no other gods had stopped them, and Jerusalem's God wouldn't either. They delivered their demands in writing. This clay tablet shows the rigid cuneiform script used for official records. King Hezekiah received a letter just like this, demanding the city's immediate surrender. Most leaders in this position would choose between surrender or a desperate counterattack. Instead, Hezekiah took the letter directly into the temple. He spread the document out on the floor and prayed. He didn't ask for personal glory. He asked for help to show the world a power higher than the Assyrian army. Following his prayer, the prophet Isaiah returned a message of reassurance. That night, the siege ended. The Assyrian army withdrew without a single arrow being fired into the city. Hezekiah's record suggests that when an external threat seems overwhelming, the first step is to shift the problem from a military balance sheet to a direct appeal for divine help. Years later, the threat changed. The army was gone, but Judah was collapsing from within. The people had forgotten their laws and neglected the covenants that held their society together. The person responsible for addressing this systemic rot was Josiah. At the time he took the throne, he was 8 years old. Josiah began by repairing the physical heart of the kingdom, the temple. He ordered workers to clean and restore the building, which had fallen into deep disrepair. Workers discovered a hidden scroll, the Book of the Law. This ancient parchment's dense columns contained forgotten instructions, revealing how far the kingdom had drifted. Josiah took immediate action. Like the ruler depicted in this carving, he gathered the people and committed the nation to following the commandments again. He removed the influences that had led the people away from their history. Josiah's reforms show that even when a culture has spent years drifting, returning to a foundational text can provide the clarity needed to rebuild, regardless of the leader's age. These historical accounts mirror the challenges we see today. We still deal with external pressures that feel like a siege, and internal habits that pull us away from who we want to be. When you face an external threat, like a difficult situation at school or a sudden fear, you can follow Hezekiah's example. Lay the problem out in prayer. It shifts the burden from your shoulders to a power that isn't limited by the odds. For internal struggles like peer pressure or losing your way, look to Josiah. The scriptures act as a set of instructions that can realign a chaotic life. They provide a standard that doesn't change, even when everything around you does. Using both these tools, prayer for what's outside and scriptures for what's inside, creates a path through crises that might otherwise seem impossible to survive. These records suggest two things. You are never as outnumbered as you feel when you communicate with God, and you are never too young to make a significant change in your life. Strength isn't measured by size or age. It's found in a consistent reliance on God's words and a direct connection to Him.